Uncover the roots of Miami's guard, known as Nnamdi.
Nigeria upset the United States.
I cannot express the joy it brought to me.
His childhood came full circle.
Gabe's favorite team was always Miami Heat.
My agent mentions Miami and another team, and I'm like, better call Miami back immediately.
Consistency is his key.
Gabe brought it every single day.
You broke the school record for most threes. What was the highlight for you?
Probably calling my buddy after I broke his record, saying, gotcha.
Vincent for three. Oh, wow.
The undrafted Jim is polishing his game.
I think he already made a big jump in terms of his grittiness, his toughness.
Vincent making the most of his minutes.
I remember hearing, who is this kid?
And making a splash.
Gabe Vincent, 7 triples.
It's about just taking advantage of opportunities, having a no-quit attitude, and continuing to persevere.
Inside the Heat, Gabe Vincent. Hello and welcome to Inside the Heat. I am Jason Jackson. Gabe Vincent joined the Miami Heat in January of 2020 on a two-way deal. In his 3 years with the organization, his role has changed each season, and he continues to evolve. While he is now a backup point guard, he grew up a scorer in high school and college, but before all of that, he was just a young, carefree California kid. Gabe, as we're starting to do more of, as we learn the younger members of this roster, we have to go back to the turn of the century. I just like using the phrase, because we go back to when all of you all were young.
Right.
That's a unique term, but it does connect to the time where you grew up and your childhood is being established. Take us back to that time and what it was like in the Vincent family.
It was interesting. You know, I mean, obviously I was young, not a care in the world, just a happy-go-lucky kid.
As a little kid, I would say he was very energetic, always on the go. At the same time, I would say he was a very pleasant kid, very observant, just a sweet kid all around, I will say.
Gabe grew up alongside his two older brothers in Modesto, California. He became the observant kid that he was by learning from his parents, both doctors in psychology.
My mom's a little more outgoing than my dad is, but they both just have different perspectives. So even when it comes to myself and expressing myself to them, or I'm dealing with something, I'm not necessarily being vocal about it, they can usually tell beyond just a parent knowing their child.
When did basketball start to become the centerpiece for you as a kid?
Yeah, I mean, I think just like every other kid, I played growing up, like YMCA and leagues that are near home.
In kindergarten, one of the little kids was joining the Y, and the family said, oh, why don't you join with us and we'll play this basketball league. And they had those reversible jerseys, you know, that you'd go on, you change sides, black or white. The other teams wouldn't play us because we had Gabe. So what he would do is play half the game in one color, and then he'd switch and play for the other team, the other half of the game.
Not till like 6th grade did I say, like, you know, this is what I want to take serious, and started out just I want to go to college and play basketball at that point, and then, you know, quickly developed into more, and now we're here.
Gabe's focus on basketball grew, particularly in high school, when he transferred to play at a more serious program at St. Mary's.
Gabe came to St. Mary between his freshman and sophomore year, and he walked in the gym. He fit in right away. So it was pretty evident that he knew how to play.
You began to see growth in him. He took it quite seriously. He was very attentive to all his games. He was able to translate sense of discipline into his academic work.
By his senior year, Gabe was not only a stellar student, but he was smashing records for the Rams, leading the team in rebounds, assists, and steals, and points. At St. Mary's High School, you did some things, setting school records for points and threes, and then this 27-2 record. I almost want to ask you about the 2 nights. That had to feel crazy. But that level of excellence for you, that had to be rewarding considering all the work you had done prior to coming to high school.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. To be honest, in the moment of it, I didn't know those accolades that I had reached, not until they had put a jersey up. And when they started rattling those things off, I said, oh, wow, you know, we had a pretty good career here.
Come on, senior night, they didn't have the plaque and the accolades and all that handled.
I don't even remember it, to be honest. I just know we won.
Well, you won all the time.
I just know we won.
Gabe then traveled 5 hours south of his hometown to attend college at UC Santa Barbara. He made a splash his freshman year, averaging 10 points and shooting 42% from the floor.
Drops it underneath. Vincent fading away. Yes.
Vincent, a true score.
Gabe earned the Freshman of the Year award in the Big West Conference. He was a very valuable piece on a really good basketball team.
Long rebound, Vincent. Quick shot, but he buries the triple.
He spent 2 years establishing himself as a top guard, but suffered an ACL injury his junior year. His only goal from that point on was to return healthy for his senior season. What was the key to your bounce back?
Consistency, I'd say. Just doing all the little things every day, day in, day out.
Gabe brought it every single day, and then I think the results followed.
Vincent for three. Oh, wow.
Vincent, awkward angle, gets it to go anyways.
That season, we won 23 games. The year before, the team had won 6 games. Gabe was such a huge part of that. He was the rock behind that team.
A school record, 23 wins you guys had, and you broke the school record for most career threes. What was the highlight for you?
Probably calling my buddy after I broke his record for the most career threes after the game, saying, "Gotcha."
Still standing firm today?
Still standing firm.
I love that. Welcome back to Inside the Heat. After a devastating ACL injury in college, Gabe Vincent led UC Santa Barbara to a 23-9 record his senior year, tying the most wins in program history and setting the school record for career threes. But after going undrafted in the 2018 NBA draft, Gabe once again had to bounce back to make his NBA dreams a reality. Your NBA journey started close to home. The Kings G League affiliate is right there in Stockton.
For the Kings, it is a three, and it's good, as Vincent lights it up from downtown.
That was awesome to be back home, play in front of familiar faces, and just get back in touch with that community that had meant so much to me.
The city of Stockton, which he claims, loves Gabe. It was great for us. We had him right there.
The second year, the Stockton Kings played the Sioux Falls Skyforce, and then 3 days later, you clearly made an impression because the Heat said, "We want that guy." Walk us through that period of time.
Sioux Falls is not Miami. I'll start there. It is not Miami.
It's a distinct difference.
Yes, that was an adjustment. Obviously, coming from California, you go to places in the snow, it's how quickly can I get back to California? A couple days later, like you said, I get a phone call and my ticket says Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and there I was.
Vincent. Whew. Gabe Vincent's just on fire right now.
It was a two-way deal off the jump, so what was your call-up like?
And I got a call from my agent early in the morning. I'd say it was better than coffee, that call. He said, "Hey, we got a couple of deals on the table." He mentions Miami and another team, and I'm like, "Man, you better call Miami back immediately. I don't know why you're talking to me. Let's get that done."
Growing up, Gabe's favorite team was always Miami Heat. He had t-shirts and ball caps. So when he got on the Miami Heat, it was really surprising because, I said, "Oh my God, that was always his favorite team."
Vincent attacking Smiley to the hoop, finger rolls it home.
It was almost very humbling to see that his path led to one of his favorite teams.
As Gabe kept on his path, he earned the title of the G League's Most Improved Player in June 2020.
I felt like if I could be the most improved player, I would have achieved what I was trying to do that season and develop my game and get better.
Timing sometimes is everything, and because of the pandemic, the bubble happened, you spent time with the team. What were you able to garner from being around the mothership?
First off, first year really in the league, and I go to the finals. There's no complaints there about that. The bubble experience was good for me in that regard, and having everything right there on site, was able to work on my game and get better as much as I necessarily wanted to.
Vincent knocks in a triple. Gabe Vincent, he stood out in the G League. The Heat like him.
He's always going hard. You can expect his best effort and attitude, and his skill set is there, and his confidence is growing.
Open man is Vincent. Kaboom. That's pretty basketball. Gabe Vincent.
What did you start learning about the Miami Heat organization?
How much they truly care about winning. That's really what it's about to us, and winning the game. And obviously you want those individual accolades, but a lot of that comes with team success.
Here's Gabe Vincent. Oh, beautiful finger roll and finish, making the most of his two-way contract minutes.
In his first full season, those minutes were spread over 50 games he played in, making a difference on the court and in his growth.
Gabe Vincent with a laser beam from downtown.
He's quite focused. He's quite attuned to what he's doing. Very adaptable to the culture of the Heat.
We've talked a lot about what they asked him, which was really, and I think that needs to be out on the table, you were asked to change your game.
Yeah, I think there's a sense of humility you have to approach that with. When the coach approaches you and says, this is what we need from you for this team, you could either fight it and not play, or you could assimilate and say, okay, this is what needs to be done. Let me do everything in my power to get better at that and add it to my game.
Vincent took the charge, and John, you can feel the momentum beginning to shift.
Defensively, I think he already made a big jump just in terms of his grittiness, his toughness, his ability to guard multiple positions.
Defense tends to lead every discussion. How did your game grow in that space?
I just took it personal. You know, I accepted the challenge. A lot of it was picking up full court. A lot of people don't like doing it. It takes a lot of energy, but when the goal is about winning, it makes it a little easier to do it.
You seem to have a joy for that.
A steal by Vincent on the inbounds. Oh, what a crafty play.
You know, you're always the underdog when you're playing defense, so I'm enjoying the challenge of trying to stop somebody from putting the ball in the hole.
Vincent not afraid to roll up his sleeves and get dirty. Or get clean with a triple.
In this organization, the word undrafted is almost herald. What does it mean to be a part of an organization that approaches undrafted the way that it does?
I think this organization really values the chip that it can place on your shoulder, and more so the way that you use it. You know, you can be an undrafted player and still be productive. And I think that the fact that we value it, we have a great blend of guys, and you know, it works out well for us.
Welcome back to Inside the Heat. After appearing in just 9 games his first year in the NBA, Gabe Vincent played in 50 games last season, the maximum allowed at the time for a two-way player. In the summer of 2021, the Miami Heat re-signed Gabe to his first standard NBA contract, and as his minutes increased, so did his productivity.
Vincent for 3. Yes. Got it! Gabe Vincent with 7 triples.
What is it that you have personally against the Philadelphia 76ers? It seems as though every time they show up, you've got a special game prepared. You know,
I don't know exactly what it is, but it's just something about them that it just works out well for me. You know, I don't know if it's necessarily the Sixers or it's Doc Rivers per se, but I tend to always play well against his teams and play well in Philly especially.
Gabe Vincent showing you he is a professional scorer.
Before we get away from maybe the Rivers connection of how you treat the Sixers now, let's slide back to maybe a Clippers backstory.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably the first game I got real minutes. It was right before that trade deadline. I was with the team. I just met the team in LA, and I'm on the bench, you know, getting ready for any other game, ready to clap, stand up, hand some towels out, and, you know, it'd be real uplifting. And I turned to my left, and there were some guys that were there before that were no longer there. I'm asking D. Jones. I say, D. Jones, man, where'd they go? He said, looks like they got traded, and you better tie your shoes.
Gabe Vincent check in for the second time this year.
When I get out there and my first 3 shots I take, I make.
Nice start here for the young fella.
So it was an awesome experience once again against Doc's team, and I think they came out victorious that time.
I can hear Doc now, though. Get Vincent out of my face.
I remember specifically hearing, who is this kid?
Look at Lowry going deep for Vincent. What a play! Kyle Lowry to Gabe Vincent for a Miami touchdown.
In the 21-22 season, Kyle Lowry has been instrumental for Gabe as he continues to develop his game as a facilitator.
Pick his brain as much as I can. You know, I've shared before how much of his film I've studied. To have him here and to have that conversation daily, to compete in training camp and go back and forth, and games where he's been out having to step up and still having conversations with him about different ways I could lead and how I could impact this win has been huge. Just a different way of seeing the game.
And since we're talking about teammates, let's discuss one that's been with you side by side since your arrival, and that's Max Strus.
Strus! Jukes for everybody!
There are a few people that enjoy the juice that radiates from that man quite like me, but I imagine you have a different connective bond with that young man. Tell me about that association.
Yeah, no, it's been great. I love to just Struce is loose. I hit him with it whenever I can. Max's success has been amazing to be a part of and to watch. The amount of work he puts in.
27 points for Vincent, career high. 32 points for Struce, career high. Two guys that were once two-way players combining for 59 points in the game.
And just seeing how many different ways he can impact the game. He does it on both ends. Obviously, he can shoot the ball from near half court, but it's been awesome to be a part of it and to put work in with him and watch us both have success.
Me and Gabe have, kind of had the same role and kind of grown up together in this league and, spent the past together a lot of time together.
He's always willing to sit down and actually really have conversations on what I need to do, how I need to get better. And for me, I respect that.
In his earlier episode of Inside the Heat this season, Bam talked about how much he respects you and your work. He likes to give you a hard time, however.
Always.
That's
better not bring that medal around me either. I didn't forget. Yeah.
Listen, that being said, he really focused in on how much you've improved and your work ethic. What does that observation mean to you?
It means a lot. It means a lot. Obviously, he's one of our max players and one of the leaders of this team. And to have that recognized, and that's one of the ways you build trust in your teammates and the staff, to put work in, to be efficient when the time comes and to answer the call when it comes. And the fact that that's recognized is awesome.
What are your goals as you continue to grow as an NBA player?
I mean, first and foremost, to win a title. I think that's something we're all focused on right now. And for me, obviously, to continue to grow and to continue to be reliable, be more consistent, score the ball the way I know I can, while adding that point guard piece and being able to facilitate more and get my guys involved.
Welcome back to Inside the Heat. While all of his NBA minutes have come with the Miami Heat, we are not the only team Gabe holds close to his heart. As a co-captain for the Nigerian national team, he's gained invaluable experience as a leader and even competed in the Olympics.
The Heat will be represented on Team Nigeria.
Gabe Vincent balling so far.
Vincent, nice. Beautiful pass to Nwamu. Nigeria has upset the United States.
You beat Team USA. Did you feel like you all had that type of shot against them?
I mean, I knew we had a chance. For sure, obviously, it's the best team in the world. Once we started scoring, got our first couple buckets, and got a couple stops, flip quickly changed in everyone's mind of this is doable.
Team USA goes challenge. They were a 30-point favorite.
Please walk us through what type of communications were rolling through
your
text messages.
My phone was nearly dead, let me tell you. It was fully charged before the game, and just from notifications, it was going crazy.
I love that for him, man. He's putting people on notice.
Gabe Nnamdi Vincent for the land.
Most of Heat Nation knows now that Nnamdi is not an alter ego for you. It is part of your name, the name that you wore on your back. Enlighten those that do not know the meaning behind that name.
Yeah, I mean, I was told as a child that it meant from the Father. With the religious background that I have, it's very meaningful to me, and any chance I get to represent my people on that side of the water, I love to represent them with the name that they refer to me as. I've had a number of calls to put it on this Heat jersey.
Gabe checking on it. It's Nnamdi time.
Gabe was the captain, and it shows you how much their coaching staff and their team thought of his leadership abilities.
I originally come from Nigeria myself. To see him represent the country, I cannot express in words the kind of joy it brought to me.
What is that Olympics experience about?
It's about coming together, really, I think. Bringing all these nations together, despite what they have going on with each other, and being able to compete in this environment of friendly competition, and just the respect I think I gained for other sports in there, whether it's table tennis, synchronized swimming, boxing, seeing the way that these elite athletes carried themselves, the way they worked, the time they got up was impressive and inspiring.
I don't see his accomplishments in terms of basketball. We were recently in Miami. Somebody at the hotel came up to us. What's it like being the parent of a superstar? I looked at him, I said, what? I'm not the parent of a superstar. He's just a regular guy.
Found out on Duncan's podcast, one of your favorite questions is, what are you most proud of?
What are you most proud of? It's a great question, man. I'm glad you guys are tapped into the Long Shot Pod, though.
Exactly. Oh, we pay attention, no doubt. Instead of asking that, what would make you the most proud?
Seeing my niece's success is giving me a lot of pride. When I get updates on how she's doing in school or how she's growing, or the videos from soccer practice, it brings me a lot of joy knowing I'm a little further from home. I'm not able to be around as much, and seeing her grow up and enjoy the journey of life is really enjoyable for me.
He's so mature beyond his years. If anybody could have done what he's done, it's him, because of who he is on an everyday basis.
He's very humble, he's very strong, he's very loyal.
He's kind and warm, and he's all those things.
He had teammates go live with him. They couldn't make rent. They couldn't do what they needed to do. Gabe would take them in.
When he was younger, the kid had on a pair of shorts that was too big, no shirt, no shoes. And Gabriel just took off his shoes and handed them to the kid and walked out barefoot. So he really has compassion.
That compassion led to the creation of Allergic to Missing, a brand Gabe hopes will inspire others to overcome life's adversities and reach their dreams.
Allergic to Missing started with my best friend in college. He had shared the phrase with me, and immediately I loved it. I saw the possibility of what this could be and saw how it applied to so many different walks of life. You know, we started out with some clothes, but it was never really meant to be a clothing brand. It's more so to, hopefully, big picture, to be back out in the community and help others.
I don't think that there's any other essence of joy a father will wish for his son than what he's doing for himself, and I wish him all the very best.
For me, it's about just taking advantage of opportunities, however they may come. And for us in this field, a lot of it is stay ready, trying to get ready, and opportunities may get on the court, but I think it applies to life in general, and just having a no-quit attitude and continuing to persevere.
Gabe Vincent is truly more than an athlete. Introspective and humble, he is eager to continue to grow both on and off the court. During his time in Miami, Gabe's shown he can shoot the ball and defend, attributes at the center of the Miami Heat universe. But it's his persistence and toughness that Heat fans can really appreciate and admire. Thank you so very much for watching this edition of Inside the Heat. I am Jason Jackson.